Hey everybody, Dexter from Barefoot Bushcraft. On today's little project I'm going to be doing a wooden Ying Yang magnet. I'm going to be showing you the entire process from start to finish, from stick to magnet, so everybody at home can see how it's done. I hope you enjoy the ride and yeah, let's get to it. Have you ever been to a spot with just a really inappropriate name? The creek that I was just standing at, this is what it's called. I have no idea who named it that or why, but oh well, to each their own, I guess. Okay, first step, wander over to your firewood pile and see if you can find an appropriate scrap of wood. Wood found. Rightio, the next thing we have to do is mark the thickness for our magnet. I usually go about 1.5 centimeters thick. I find that a good size for them. What I used to do is I used to grab a ruler and mark 1.5 centimeters all around it like this, and then draw a line to link all those marks together. But it turns out that a die is about 1.5 centimeters thick. So now what I do is I just put it up there like that and mark around the entire thing, just doing that, and you end up with a 1.5 centimeter thick line that we will cut to, and that's the next step. Right, it's all set up in the vise now, so grab yourself a saw and start sawing. Now I've got a 1.5 centimeter disc. Little Gordy's come for a visit. Hey Gordy. Yeah, good boy. Whoa, plonk. What you doing? Keep forgetting you don't have that leg, eh? Ah, boy. Back to it. Now once you have your disc, just give it a bit of a sand on the face and the back side of it just to smooth it all up so it sits flat. Now you don't have to get it super duper smooth at this stage, it's just to flatten it off so it sits nice and flat on the table. And now we get on to the next step. Okay, once you've got your disc, you mark out what shape you want. And for this one I'm just going to go with a circle. So I've got a spice jar lid here. Just happens to be the nice shape, nice size. So I'm going to use this to trace around, and that'll give us our shape of our magnet. Okay, now we've got the circle marked out, and we just need to cut away all the excess. Okay, we're back at the vise, and now I'm just going to grab the saw again and cut around that design that we just drew. Okay, now I've got to do that with all the other sides of it, so I might just leave it there and I'll come back when it's all done. Hi there, little Gordy. What you doing? What you doing, little Gordy? Ah, good boy. Alright, all the sawing's done and we've ended up with this. And from here, we just got to smooth off all these edges to bring it down to that line, and I'm just going to do that with the old sandpaper again. With a bit of sandpaper, and now we've got to get all these points away so it's all down to that line. Make it all nice and circular. So here we go. Now as you can imagine, this is going to take quite some time, so I might leave it there and I'll get back to you when we're done. Righto, I've switched it up to the file here just to do the final process of getting it down to the lines, and I think that looks pretty good. And now we've got our little disc cut out. What we've got to do is draw on the design that we want. In this case it'll be a yin yang, and then do some carving. So let's get to that, shall we? Now to draw our yin yang. And what I use for this is just a regular old 20-cent piece. Just anything that's a good shape and sort of size for it, really. Put it in the middle here, draw around it, and then draw on your yin yang. Oh, and if you're wondering what this thing is, it's actually my tripod. As always, just do the best with what you got. And after you finish drawing it on, you should end up with something that looks kind of like this. Oh. Hey little Muddy, got another little visitor. What you doing, little buddy? Hey little doggy. Hey Muddy moo. Dotty. Muddy. Okay, once you finished all the carving, it should look something along the lines of this. I've gone around it and done a bit of a depth find with the fancy calipers, and it says, can't really see that, it says 1.72 millimeters. So that's how deep that I've gone, all around the edges there. So now we got to do some burning. Alright, this is my little burning setup. I just got a soldering iron here. It's got interchangeable tips, so I'll start off with using this one to do the detail around the outside. Then I'll come back with this one, it's just a little bit thicker, and I'll colour it all in. Now the tips that I have with burning is to keep a little bit of water nearby, just in case. Like when you're burning, sometimes it cracks it just with the heat. So if that happens, you just get a bit of water and dab it on there, gets rid of the crack. And just a scrap bit of cardboard here, that's just to clean off the tip of the soldering iron. And a little bit of blue tack. That's just kind of my clamping solution, I guess you could call that. So, that's pretty much everything you'll need. Oh, and wear some glasses, because the smoke coming off this really hurts your eyes. Anyway, let us do that. Lettuce. Righto, once you've finished all your burning, I like to give it just a good old scrub out with an old toothbrush here. That just gets rid of any residue and char that's left inside the burning area. And while we're waiting for this to dry, we can flip it over and mark and carve our magnet hole. So let's get on to that, shall we? Back at the vise again, just going to chisel out the magnet hole. Now it's time to glue in the magnet. And for this I just use a little bit of 5-minute epoxy. And there we go. We'll just wait for that to dry and then we'll get on to the sanding and the polishing job. Okay, that's the magnet all finished. It's been sanded and polished. And yeah, I think it's looking pretty good. Now the final test. Will it stick? I'd say yes. Thanks for watching this, everybody. If anybody actually does use this as a tutorial and makes their own little magnet, I'd love to see it. Send me a picture in my email. The email's in the description of all my videos, and yeah, I think I might leave it there. Have a nice day, everybody, and I'll catch you on the next one.